So, hello everyone, and thank you so much for being here today so we can have a conversation just to talk about very serious topic, bullying. I've talked to so many parents, and parents have come to me on the bus stop and just at other gatherings just to talk about bullying. So I just thought it was a great idea to have you here to ask you some questions about bullying. So to start off, let's talk about what bullying is. And I'll say, when I grew up, it wasn't necessarily called bullying because it was just being picked on. We say you would fight at the end of the day, meet me at 3 o'clock. But I think now it's just a little different. It's really bullying. So can you tell me what bullying today is?
So today bullying is abuse of power. So when someone uses their power, whether it's popularity or size, to make someone else feel inferior, less than, to, in some ways, in some cases, to make them be afraid of them. So that's what I consider bullying.
Yeah, make someone be afraid of them. Yeah, your size.
And also, in some of the ways you can bully comes through verbal, emotional, physical, and cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is one of the biggest things through social media these days. That's why the children relate to each other. That's how they talk to each other. So to me, in my opinion, I think that's the number one form of bullying these days. Bullying can also is a repeat offender, so something that continues to go on and on and on. But that's some of the bullying, what I think it may be.
Cyberbullying, that's secretive. And a lot of times children don't say, I'm being bullied that way.
That's right.
And do they know that they're being bullied when it's cyberbullying?
Some children do. Some children do. Some children are unaware of that. But also this depends on the relationship between the child or the bully itself.
And so I'll ask, what can they do? Let's talk about the cyberbullying. What can they do in cases such as that? So let's say it's someone that, is it through email or Instagram?
Yeah,
or?
email, any social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube,
TikTok.
any TikTok, any Twitch accounts. I'm sure there's many more, but those are some of the popular ones. But I think some of the ways you can do that is more of parents being a little bit more of a monitor, parental controls on social media, monitoring the child's behaviors. Also, I think one of the biggest things that you can do for bullying with that is being able to speak up to a trusted person, someone that you can really count on, that you can believe in, that will be able to come to your well-being, not be judgmental, but also encourage you and support you.
Is this done through a group or is it individual or both?
I think it could be both. Absolutely. I'll pass this on.
In ways of bullying being showed so when bullying being showed is through social media or in person, is for most of the times first by their words. You can always pick up on someone's energy when they say, hey, this happened, or hey, someone pushed me. Sometimes it could be physical as that. Like Julian said, it's always best to go to a trusted adult, whether it's your guardian or it's to a counselor or to your teacher, whether the children or even the adult itself, they could experience bullying as well. But, at that age, you're an adult, you should know how to, quote, unquote, handle situations. Right. But some people just haven't developed those skills to know how to convey their words. So our job is to really express that way, like these are our ways that we can get resources to you, and these are the signs of bullying, and if you see it, speak up on it, because if it hurts you, it's going to hurt others. So we need to nip that in the bud and work on a better solutions.
Right. Let's ask, so in school, if a child is being bullied, who can I go to?
Okay. It's numerous people that you can go to. There are teachers, there are counselors. A lot of schools nowadays have social workers as well that you can speak to. But I think for the teachers, the counselors, like just any adults in the school, our job is to really have an open ear. Because a lot of times kids fall through the cracks. Kids are not gonna come out here and just say, "Oh, I'm being bullied," "Oh, this kid pushed me," or "This kid hurt me." So, noticing those changes in behaviors. This kid was really on their grades, and now grades are slipping. Or this kid is very outspoken, now they're not really speaking anymore. Or they're not being open, they're being more reserved. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can, as an adult in the school, if you're really paying attention to those behaviors, you can really see when some of those kids are falling through the cracks. I think those are the ones that we really have to look out for. But a lot of time, some kids will come and say, like, "Hey, this happens to me," and I feel like we need to take this very seriously, and we need to document, we need to assess, is there a risk, is there a safety thing, do we need to report this, do we need to speak to the parents? Like, those are things that I feel like schools need to really take accountability and really focus on and get some training on, so when the time do come, we are prepared.
Trainings,
yes.
yeah. Would you say schools need the training? Yeah.
So I was going to say, as it goes to cyberbullying, most platforms have a button, or there's a menu where you can report something that is posted.
That's true.
And you can choose why you're reporting it. It can be harassment, it can be cyberbullying, it shows violence. So we are really in control of the platforms. What happens is that the majority doesn't see anything wrong with it. So it takes more than one person to report it. So kids need to learn emotional development at a younger age, so that they know that it's okay to say how you feel. I don't like that. Don't touch me. Don't push me. So that they can speak up. It doesn't just happen for your child all the time by themselves. So they need emotional training, and they need to understand what they're feeling so that they can speak up.
Wow.
Because
So the teacher or the staff needs the training, as well as the child
and the parents.
Yes.
and the parents.
I worked in the school system last year, and one thing I do have to say that they are adding for the kids is they're doing a lot of social emotional learning. I think when I was doing my internship at a school, one of the tasks that I was delegated to do was to go into the classroom for like pre-K and kindergarten children and really focus on that social emotional learning. So if it's saying, "Oh, stop, I don't like it when you do that," just behaviors like that show other people like this is appropriate and what's not appropriate, starting early really does make a difference, because now the kid feel like they have a voice and they can vocalize what they're feeling, what they're seeing, how, you know what I'm saying, how things make them feel.
Make them feel.
Yeah.
That's the social emotional learning.
Yes.
Very
They're doing
good.
that a lot more now in schools,
That's
which
good.
I think social workers and school counselors are doing that now.
What are some of the things that a parent can do? My child comes to me and tells me they feel that they are being bullied. What can a parent do? Because, parents, we get emotional. Oh no, or a parent could say, someone's hitting you, hit them back. But is that really dealing with it? What are some of the things we can do?
Yeah, so I think it's about empowering the child. I think it goes back to the fundamentals of being in a home. But everything really doesn't start at home all the time, because some people's safe place is the school. And so I believe this empowering the children is a good way. Developing a plan of some sort of intervention for a child will be helpful for the parent to be encouraging them. I think another one, just being empowerment for them, like letting them know, not necessarily doing anything bad towards them, but it's really encouraging that child to, hey, we got to build self-confidence up for you. We got to be able to get you to use your words properly, to let you know what's going on.
As like what Julian stated, when a child comes to a parent and they're expressing that they're being bullied, first we want the child to take this as like a learning experience, but the first action is like see if they can handle it themselves, to gain that independence. As he said, encourage them, build self-confidence to use their voice. So first action is to let the child handle the situation like, hey, I don't feel being bullied. This, what you do is making me uncomfortable, etc., etc. If that action don't go, then the parent can step in. We can go to the parents. We can go to the teachers, go to the other parent of the child, and have that intervention plan. and have a little counseling session, even if it had the counselor or the principal have to get involved. So just to have that open communication so everyone be aware, because again, if it happens to one, it's going to happen to others. And also just build on those development skills just in general.
Can I add something?
Yes, you
One
can.
of the other things to add too is documentation. I think it's really critical and vital that parents document the incidents of what's going on, date and times of what's going on, just so you have some type of rapport of anything.
Very good.
Yes, I wanted to add something. Yes, all of those things are awesome to do, but I think the first thing as the parent is for you to have a safe place for your child to come to you. Because a lot of times the kid don't feel comfortable. They're embarrassed. It's like, this is happening to me. Kids are pushing me around, verbalizing, projecting
Right.
onto me. So they don't feel safe with what's happening. So if they're not safe with the situation at home, they can't come to you. So I think the first thing is to make the child comfortable enough to be able to say, okay, I'm gonna go to my mom and tell her this is happening to me. How can we move forward? And also advocating for your child as well is number one priority. Those timestamps, those dates, having the notes of what happened can also really be helpful in that situation.
Yeah. That's good.
I think that also another important thing is to build a relationship with your child where you're listening. I think a lot of times as parent, and I'm speaking from experience, as a parent, we know. We have foresight, we have hindsight, so we think we know and we understand what they're going through. But just as you look up and your street has changed, children are changing, schools are changing, the environments are changing. So we're not actually living their experience. Yes, we've been children, but we're not living their childhood experience. So you have to listen to your child, and that starts early on. At 2, when they want to tell you 50 times, look, I'm jumping, look. You're like, oh God. But those are things that build that confidence in them to be able to trust you with information. Because other than that, kids will keep it in. And you'll see incidents of suicide on young kids. I think the youngest reported, it's like 8. So you have to build your child up early on that you're listening to them, so they know that you're paying attention, so that they know what they have to say is valuable. Even if it's wrong, you still need to listen, let them get it off their chest, and try to explain it in a way that they can understand.
Right.
It's not always about how we feel about a situation as parents, because I know I want you safe, but for instance, my son is 17, he wants to get in the car with his friends. I'm like, I'm pulling my hair out, but I have to trust you.
Right.
And I have to, let you know that you have someone here if something goes wrong. I don't care what it is, call me.
Right.
So you have to
Right.
build that with your child.
Right.
Yeah, and make them feel like you're on their team.
Yes.
That's number one.
On the
Yes.
team.
You're the parent, but y'all are a system. And y'all have to
Yes.
make sure your system works well.
She had something else she
You
wanted
got
to
that
add.
like that? You like that?
I wanted
I
to.
really wanted to get down on the mic.
We are a team. I like that. One thing I do like, I'm very appreciative that you're here today. One thing I like as I look around the room, you are young. And sometimes youth do not want to go to counselors because for some reason they think counselors are old. They're not going to understand what I have to say. They're not going to understand the lingo because there are some things I honestly don't understand. When I was asking you about the social media, what are the places? How do they do it? Is it in group chat or is it individual? I don't know. Email? No, I don't know. So some things we don't understand, but there are definitely things that you understand. So it's important that we have the age groups to meet the youth so that they can be comfortable to come to you. You agree?
Yes.
And also we do have, and you made a good point for parents to talk to the children, but then we have cases where children can't talk to their parents, where parents cannot talk to their children because you just don't know how. Because of that age barrier, or sometimes there's a language barrier, or different circumstances in the home. And as we wrap up, I want you to be able to tell me or tell that youth out there how they can get help in just a brief word to them. I'll give you 2 seconds as I'm trying to get you to do it. Just a brief brief sentence, because we're wrapping up now, just how can they get help? And I know, and you mentioned also that 8-year-old wanting to commit suicide, and a lot of times they do that because they have nothing else, because they know nothing else, because they haven't heard anything positive, and because they've heard it before. But what can you offer someone that's young?
Is it possible I can add a little something to this before we end it? Yes. Also, I wanted to add about the bullies. You know,
Right,
I
that was
think
important.
all behaviors is a form of communication. And so I think as we forget about the bully
Mm-hmm.
itself, especially when you're dealing with the youth. And so some of the things that I want to bring to people awareness, because we
Yeah.
always go to the victim aid, but we forget about the person that's doing the bullying, because they have a lot of trauma themselves as
That's
well.
right.
So
That's
I just
right.
want to add that in there.
That's good. That's your sentence. And that was important,
Absolutely.
because the bully and the one that's being bullied is
Absolutely.
important, right?
For the youth out there, if you don't feel comfortable going to a parent or an older adult, you can always talk to your friend, your sister, your brother. It doesn't matter. Whoever you feel comfortable with, even if it's someone that you play on a video game with, as long as you are able to talk about that situation and be able to, so you can have that listening communication, that is great. At the end of the day, we want you to be able to express yourself. So once you do get to that point, you're able to overcome that since you've done it once, and you can do it
Yeah.
many more times.
Yeah, that's good.
What I would say to someone out there, young adolescents, children, I know it might seem scary, and it might seem like there's nothing I can do, there's nothing I can say, this is it for me, but there's hope. And when I got into this line of work, I had the same assumptions, like, it was a bunch of older folks, like, they can't relate to me, but we are out here. We are waiting for you guys. We are here to help. When I bond with my younger clients, I think that do make a difference for a child that may seem apprehensive about therapy or just counseling in general. But we are out there. There's hope for you. This is not the end, and I really hope that you look at this video and just take everything in that we talked about, and that you really truly do the self-work, and it was gonna get better. That was more than like
A sentence,
sentences.
yeah,
I'm
it was
sorry.
good.
So what I would say to someone that's being bullied or that is having that experience is that you are important.
Yes.
You are valuable and you deserve to be safe.
That's right.
You deserve to be safe. There is some person, it may not be your parent, it may be an older cousin, it may be
Yeah.
someone at the school that works in the cafeteria, the janitor. Someone is waiting to help you.
That's right.
Someone is waiting to help you. You are not alone. We are in this together. We are a community, and we need you here.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
I almost said amen.
I know.
Step on my feet.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate your wisdom. I appreciate your youth, even though someone is 40. But I appreciate your wisdom and your time, your knowledge, and thank you for what you do for so many.
Thank you.
All right.